What if I told you the real Eddie Mush cursed the production? A Latino actor became the most authentic Italian-American in cinema, and a gangster died holding this exact movie. These 27 facts will change everything you thought you knew about A Bronx Tale.
This is my life, not yours. This is not for you. No guns.
Is it better to be loved or feared?
I would rather be feared.
Chazz Palminteri turned down $1 million offer for his one-man play because studios wanted a different actor to play Sonny. Then Robert De Niro stepped in with a handshake deal, a 50-50 partnership where Palminteri got to write and star, while De Niro would direct and play the father. No lawyers, just two men sealing one of cinema's most authentic partnerships.
Robert De Niro just saw the show. He ran downstairs. He's in your dressing room.
Wow.
And I said, Robert De Niro? They said, yeah. I said, wow, okay. I go downstairs, and there's Bob De Niro sitting in my chair in my dressing room. And he looks at me, and I walk in. I go, hey, how you doing? He says, how you doing? He shook my hand. And he says, that's an unbelievable thing you did on stage. He goes, how'd you do that? I said, it was a vision I had, Bob. He goes, well, I think this will be a great movie. He says, look, I know what's going around in Hollywood.
De Niro and Palminteri found the real Eddie Mush, Eddie Montanaro, still living in the Bronx, still losing every bet. On his first day on set, it rained, confirming everyone's fears that they'd invited a walking hex onto their movie.
Eddie Mush was a degenerate gambler. He was also the biggest loser in the whole world. They called him Mush because everything he touched turned to mush.
Never mind Eddie, my love. I need a winner.
He would go to the racetrack, and the teller would give him his tickets already ripped up.
I had the Yankees. They lost. It was for bad luck. I wouldn't have no luck at all.
Lillo Brancato spent his childhood impersonating Robert De Niro. A casting scout randomly approached him on Jones Beach, asked for his De Niro impression, and it was so uncanny he became a finalist to play young Calogero, opposite his idol.
So the guy's name was Marco Greco. He loved the look. He said, you look like you could be his son. Can you act? I said, well, I don't know. I never did it before, but I can try. So I started doing some De Niro impersonations with, the frown and I did him talking to me, just very little. I'm not gonna lie, I had a few beers in me too. So in a way, that was a good thing because I didn't get shy.
Kathrine Narducci brought her son to audition for young Calogero. While watching, she noticed they were casting the mother's role, asked to audition on the spot, and landed it. Her son didn't get cast, but she became one of the 90s cinema's most memorable mothers.
I went out on an open call for A Bronx Tale. I took my son at the time, he was like 8 years old, for the part of Calogero, and while I was there, I realized they had an open call for the mother too. So I asked the casting director when my son was done with auditioning for Calogero, little Calogero, can I audition for the mom? And the rest is history. I got a chance to audition and I beat out 2,500 women and I got the role. That was my first role, acting, playing Robert De Niro's wife.
De Niro involved Palminteri in every aspect of production: casting, location, scouting, editing, sound mixing. For his directorial debut, De Niro shared Power Completely, a masterclass in ego-free collaboration Hollywood rarely sees.
If you do a famous person, then you got to do that. But nobody knows my dad. He goes, no, it's important that I do that. So I said, Dad, De Niro wants to hang out with you. He goes, well, Robert De Niro? I go, yeah. Flew my father up, and for a month, he said, I want your father to teach me how to drive a bus. My father taught him how we did the changer, when you do the changer.
Yeah.
And he said, and he carried.
Robert De Niro got an actual commercial driver's license, Class B with air brakes and passenger endorsement, to drive city buses authentically. When Boston's MBTA refused him, New York's Transit Authority taught one of the world's biggest stars how to drive a city bus. The actors playing Italian-American Calogero are actually Latino. Francis Capra is half Dominican. Lillo Brancato is Colombian by birth, adopted by an Italian-American family. The most authentic Italian-American coming-of-age story features Latino actors proving great acting transcends ethnicity.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do
Did you shoot that man in a parking space?
When you get older, you'll understand.
Philip Garbarino competed for adult Calogero but lost to Brancato. Instead, he became the adult son of the man Sonny kills, going from protagonist to the man who murders the protagonist's mentor, creating haunting poetic symmetry. De Niro called his friend Chuck Zito an actual Hell's Angel who brought 5 real Hell's Angels to play the Satan's messengers. That curly-haired guy everyone thinks is Rob Schneider, he's a genuine New York Hell's Angels, bringing authentic menace no acting class could replicate.
Now you just can't leave.
When Sonny quotes being feared rather than loved, he's quoting Machiavelli's The Prince directly. Palminteri embedded Renaissance political theory into a mob boss's worldview, showing Sonny studied the same texts that shaped emperors and presidents.
You ever hear of Machiavelli? Who? Machiavelli. It's a famous writer from 500 years ago. Availability. That's what he always said.
Availability.
That's right. Listen to me. I can live anywhere I want to. You know why I live in this neighborhood? Availability. I want to stay close to everything. Because being on the spot, I can see trouble immediately. Trouble is like a cancer. You gotta get it early. If you don't get it early, it gets too big, then it kills you. That's why you gotta cut it out. Ravish?
Lorenzo and Sonny only share 2 scenes, one lasting 30 seconds. This scarcity makes every moment crackle with intensity. Sometimes the most powerful rivalries simmer mostly off-screen.
You are, Sonny. I know what you're capable of, and I would never step out of line. You could ask anybody in this neighborhood who knows me. But this time you're wrong. You don't fool with a man's family. This is my son, not yours.
What are you gonna do, fight me?
You stay away from my son.
Get out of here before I give you a fucking slap.
You just stay away from my son.
Go ahead.
Despite the title, the film was shot in Astoria and Jackson Heights, Queens. They needed period-accurate 1920s to 50s buildings, and Queens had better intact architecture. That street in front of Chez Pippi? 30th Avenue in Astoria.
I have to get something in the store. Don't move. You wait right here. You hear me?
Lorenzo's line, "The saddest thing in life is wasted talent," became prophetic when Lillo Brancato became the subject of a documentary called Wasted Talent about his struggles with addiction. The warning his character received became the title of the actor's real downfall.
You know, I try to go to church as much as possible. Thank God every day in my life, become the person that I am today. You know, I owe it.
Brancato confessed on 2020 that he began using drugs during filming. His first high was right before shooting the loved or feared scene. Both Palminteri and De Niro warned him repeatedly, but nothing worked.
Took it all away from me right now. I still got those 2 things that will live forever.
If you could go back, right, would you still have gone to the beach that day? Bronx Tale, the part. Good and bad.
I would, but I just would have made better decisions after.
Right.
Because like when you're not addicted to drugs, it's very easy to just not do them the first time. It's like trying a new food. Nah, I'm all right. But when you already got a taste of the food and it's good and now you're on a diet, then it's hard to say no because it's like, damn, I love it.
During the racist attack scene, Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower plays, a black musician covering Bob Dylan, a white musician. The film scores racist violence with the sound of black and white artistic collaboration, creating devastating, ironic commentary. A fan theory suggests that the biker Sonny humiliated planted the bomb. When Sonny told them to remember me and watch my car, his threat became his death warrant. The hunter became the hunted through his own arrogance.
You again, huh?
That wasn't very nice. Now you just gotta leave.
I'll tell you when the fuck we leave, all right? Get the fuck away from me.
Calogero's $600 in tips equals $5,404 today. Sonny was essentially handing a teenager over $5,000 in cash. No wonder Lorenzo was terrified. Palminteri still performs the one-man play in 25 cities yearly. A musical version debuted in 2016, co-directed by De Niro. The story exists simultaneously as solo play, film, and Broadway musical.
Right on this spot here stood the man, Sonny. Sharkskin suit, diamond pinky ring. Sonny had 5 fingers, but he only used 3.
Brancato's lifetime of De Niro impersonations paid off. He didn't just look like young De Niro, he'd absorbed his mannerisms, creating an uncanny on-screen father-son resemblance that felt genetic.
I came to pay my respects to your friend. Are you okay?
Yeah. Dad, I'm sorry if I ever hurt you in any way.
It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
De Niro's directorial debut is dedicated to his father, Robert De Niro Sr., who died in 1993. He chose a film about fathers guiding sons through temptation, making the dedication the emotional heart, and why he chose this story.
Originally, I just did it, wanted to make a documentary about my father with the footage, whatever footage we had, whatever people, whoever was around, still with us. I wanted to have them interviewed and talk about them and have it for the family, for my kids, my grandkids.
Irish criminal Martin Cahill was murdered in 1994 while returning a VH copy of A Bronx Tale to his video store. A real gangster's final act was returning a movie warning about that lifestyle, reality writing its own dark epilogue. Frank Vincent was supposed to appear as the Mafia boss, but the scene was never filmed. We almost got another layer of mob authenticity from one of the genre's greatest character actors before Casino and The Sopranos. After a career as cinema's most ruthless gangster, De Niro chose his directorial debut to play Lorenzo, the moral center, the good father, the honest bus driver resisting the mob world.
Your mother told me she caught you by the bar today.
I was by the bar.
So why'd you lie?
I took a shot.
What am I gonna say? Took a shot. Nice try, son.
Clem Caserta holds Lorenzo back in the confrontation scene. He also appears in The Untouchables, holding back Al Capone, also played by De Niro. Caserta has had the distinction of physically restraining De Niro in 2 different films.
Hey, Lorenzo, how you doing? Keep driving. I want to talk to you. Your kid? You can go kid that kid. Thanks. Really, really appreciate you. Between your sons, did you?
The film's body count is only 6, but each carries massive weight. This isn't a movie that revels in violence. Every death serves the meditation on consequences and the cost of Sonny's world.
He's loud! Oh, the fuck is that? What the fuck? Get out of here! Get out! Come on, get out!
Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower isn't just ironic, it's prophetic. Dylan's lyrics warn the hour's getting late as they drive toward violence. When the attack goes wrong and they die in the crash, the song literally warned them. Sonny tells Calogero he's better off being loved while Sonny must be feared, and lives exactly that duality. He treats Calogero with pure love while using fear to control his empire, embodying Machiavelli's philosophy of knowing which approach each relationship requires. A Bronx Tale proves the best stories aren't just written, they're lived. Palminteri walked away from $1 million. De Niro got a commercial driver's license for authenticity. Real Hell's Angels brought genuine danger. Between the Bronx and Queens, between truth and fiction, this film captured something Hollywood usually fakes, the real weight of choices that define us. The Curse of Eddie Mush, the prophecy of wasted talent, the soundtrack warning of death, the handshake deal that changed cinema. Every frame carries a story behind the story. Which fact hit you the hardest? Did you catch the Hendrix irony? Did you know about the gangster who died returning this movie? Drop your reaction below. Time to rewatch A Bronx Tale. You'll never see Sonny's car the same way. You'll hear wasted talent differently. You'll understand why this transcends typical mob movies. Subscribe for more deep dives into cinema's greatest secrets. The magic isn't just on screen, it's everything that happened to get it there. Keep watching, keep feeling, and never stop chasing the magic of cinema. I'll catch you in the next one.